Well, hello everyone and welcome or welcome back to Life of Wonders. This is Polo and I love making videos of dolls, toys and Disney collectibles. And as always, if you like this kind of content and you feel like supporting the channel, then you already know what to do. So today we have a very special video because I've been waiting for this doll for quite some time and she's finally here, and I will actually be getting a few more in the upcoming days, so I will stay tuned for that. But anyway, this is one of the beauty DEFA LUCY dolls that appear to be super popular among the doll collectors community at this very moment. And we're going to be covering both the full unboxing as well as the detail review, but I will also add some compare and contrast with similar fashion dolls that might be the direct competition as well as the inspiration for these doll line. So basically, DEFA LUCY has been around for over a decade, or Brittany as it's called and registered in Mexico, and I believe that you can actually find this doll on a physical Walmart store if you are based in Mexico, which is great because otherwise the only other two places I know aside from probably eBay is either Temu or Shein. But that's fine. I mean, it takes a bit longer to be shipped and all that, and yeah, but you know, it's very accessible anyways. And so the thing is that even though she's been around for such a very long time, it's only recently when probably the creative team behind decided to change a few things around to make this doll pop. I would say. And so because as for now, I can see that there was like basic sort of like very basic needs, I would say, when it comes to dolls. We had like a princess DEFA LUCY doll, we had like a birthday DEFA LUCY doll, or like a doctor, things like that that are like incredibly safe, but very boring when it comes to creativity. And it's only now that apparently she's turned into a fashion model. And I believe that the inspiration is mainly Barbie, but I can also see a few things here and there from other um, fashion dolls, such as the hashtag Lika from Japan or Mimi's World from South Korea. I mean, this is a company based in China, so I wouldn't, be surprised if part of the inspiration for it would be what's really going on in the Asian market. And yeah, so we're going to be exploring that um, and see what's the quality, how it feels like, out of the box. Like, I'm really looking forward to it because I've seen a couple of reviews and I was really excited, but having it in person is like a complete different thing. So this is the packaging, which is cool. I mean, it's actually giving Barbie extra a little bit, but also like Bratz, I would say. I don't know, like the trapezoid shapes, especially this one that is not like this extra, which is basically very very extra inspired. But this one is cool. I mean, it's modern, but it's giving us retro vibes as well, and I think that the retro sort of like vibes that we're getting is coming from the aesthetics, especially how the eyes and the eyelashes are painted, which, if we think about Lika Chan or hashtag Lika or Mimi's World, we can see a pattern that feels much more retro than what's happening in the Western world in a way. But at the same time, she's giving a lot of like Poppy Parker vibes, and this particular sculpt, which I believe there are like at least three new sculpts, so that is very nice because there's some diversity, and also in skin complexions, and hair texture they added more variety, which I think is essential for a doll series right now to succeed, because it has to represent the world and the population. And so So she's giving to me this particular sculpt is giving either or both like a bit of like a Steffi mold from Barbie, and yeah, and Poppy Parker in a way. I mean the jawline, the pose, the it's very regal and very yeah, model-esque like what I can see at a first glance. And right here we have the specification of it being within the series of beauty. Right over here we have the artwork for her. DEFA Lucy is a combination of the company name and Lucy, which is supposed to be the character, but again, there are different characters or different dolls that I'm guessing they're all Lucy in a way. So we have a really nice design that is what I believe has caught us by surprise now as adult collectors as opposed to children, which probably were the main target for DEFA Lucy for over a decade, because it was like a an easy budget version of like very simplistic ideas for mainly children, I would say. But now as it's transformed into a fashion doll like fully, then it's also appealing to collectors. And these graphics, I have to give the company some props because they're very nice. I mean, they're giving me anime, but they're also giving me like futuristic 80s I don't know, styled. I remember like in the 80s they were using this kind of futuristic attempts to imagine probably 2020 so in a way I'm guessing that and I'm feeling that. From here we have a couple of stars right here with glitter that's all like printed. Then right over here we can read mix and match, and right over here we have the full piece of artwork, which I love. I mean, I really want to keep of artwork, which is something because yeah, I think I prefer it over the one that Mattel was using for Barbie Extra and stuff. And even well, the new artwork from Mattel for the fashionistas is a little bit closer to this if you take it into account. It's like it's a bit of like a graphic design, and that is what I'm getting here. It's not exactly the doll that we're getting, as the hair is not exactly the same, and the glasses and everything, and probably the earrings either, but the idea is here, and I think that in terms of execution they've tried their best, and so that's pretty cool. So I will be getting these two for sure. This one I will be reviewing very soon, I hope. And I believe that all of them, all these three, are actually sharing the very same sculpt. And as you can see, again, I'm getting a very Asian sense of fashion, as well as futuristic, and also like anime. Like I'm getting like Sailor Moon, and I'm getting yeah, retro, especially 80s graphic design artwork inspiration here, like for sure. So this is the back, we can read mix and match as well. Then right over here we have the product, the manufacturer, where it is located and everything. There's a warning that is not suitable for under 3 years old children. And this is a really nice doll for children as well. I mean the price is not incredibly low, but it's comparable with fashionista level, I would say, or even cheaper than that, or definitely cheaper than the retail of a Barbie Extra. But then Barbie Extra ended up being reduced most of the time, so I don't know. It's a choice, I guess, right now. So this is everything that we can appreciate on the packaging, and now I will take her out and we'll explore her up close. Here we have the interior part of the inner packaging, in which we can find these icons like the little wings, the lips, the diamond here, which again, yeah, I can see a little bit where it's all coming from in a way, but it's super cool. And I also wanted to share with all of you right now, before I I am going to redo the whole hairstyle, but when I was unboxing, it came loose. And so the first thing I noticed, like I don't know, it could be mistaken with nylon, but I truly feel that this is polypropylene, at least for this doll. It might feel different for other dolls from different series of DEFA LUCY, but this is like very similar to Frankie's poly, very straight hair that we've seen Mattel using recently. I mean, it's not as noticeable because it's very straight, but as you can see, it can feel very cursed when trying to. In fact, I just took the ponytail and this was just like wrapped around, but now it's a little bit of a mess, and I am trying to put it back together, but I mean the hair is difficult to handle in a way. Then I also want to mention that this is like the bangs or the fringe we're getting, and it's super cool. I mean, I think I like it very much. I would probably, just to make it a little bit more even, I think that what it's needed is that little bit of portion that they actually use to wrap it around the ponytail. So maybe I might be giving her like a fuller bangs, and I would just redo the hair in some other way, like with a high pony, but differently. And this was like the elastic. It's a very long elastic, and as you can see, pieces of hair have been broken already. Yeah, it's poly, although I mean it looks cool and it's really nicely and densely rooted, I have to say that, because I thought, okay, now that I've taken it completely out, let's explore the rooting. And she's not bald in the middle, so there's like rooting all around the circumference of the head. It's just that the way it's just pushed back, probably like the last lines over there are a little bit too thin, but the thing is she doesn't have like a bald spot in the middle, so that is very very cool. And I think that in terms of like how thick the fiber is, it reminds me so much of Kanekalon as well in a way, which was really nice. It was very lightweight, but also very hard to style, so that is the only thing. And now all right, so I'll get back to you when I put everything together. These are the artwork pieces that I decided to keep, and very similar to Barbie Extra, we actually get these two side pieces of artwork that you can definitely use as bookmarks, and they look so cool. Like seriously, these graphics are everything, and I'm also loving the artwork on the back. Actually, the style they're using for the models of the dolls, those are really really nice, so I thought I would share it with all of you. Alright, so here we have her back to her glory and next to her competition, as well as quite possibly her inspiration too. And I have to say that even though she's gone back to perfection and I tried to reproduce the hairstyle as well as I could, it took me a while. And the reason, well, I'm very tired. It's very, very late at night when I'm recording this, etc. But I think that it's also because you really don't want to mess up with this fiber. I mean, you saw it. You saw that it already had the shape of how it was supposed to be styled. So if you wanted it to look like as it looks right now with no messy hairs around, etc., it takes a while, and that is something that wouldn't happen if you were using either canaculum, which is the fiber that we can find here on or Generation Girls, Tori, or Saran, which is what the other girls are actually having. This is Mimi's world from South Korea, and this is hashtag Lika from Japan. And here we have a signature Puma Barbie wearing a partial Barbie Extra fancy, I guess. Yeah, Barbie Extra fancy, I think. And I transformed this one into like my Paris Hilton Barbie doll, and she was giving me like the same energy in a way. And in fact, I can see those like model features. I mean, they're both like looking quite fierce and like modeling and subdued, and I don't know, there's something about them that I can see the same energy. And in fact, they're actually having a very similar hairstyle, and I know this one is a signature one and this is a super budget one, and so those might be differences, but yeah, I mean, they're both having like a high pony wrapped around with their own hair, although this one comes with streaks of different color, and this one too, I mean, this one comes with highlights. The hair length is a bit more realistic for this one, and it's less realistic, but I love when dolls come with long hair, so that's cool. And yeah, I mean, this is the lined up that I chose because I think that these have certainly been the inspiration for the changes that the DEFA company has undertaken for Lucy, and I think we can clearly see, I mean, she's giving me fashion aesthetics from Asia for sure, so that is something that we would find most of the times on #Lika dolls at the moment, because, well, but even for Mimi's, this one actually came with a super classy outfit that comes in these pieces. I would say that the quality is very similar to this one over here. I mean, the undergarments were not part of it. These ones actually come with every other #Lika, but they fit, you know, perfectly, and she's really nicely articulated and all. And so I can see Asian fashion aesthetics mixed up with like Western fashions and nostalgia, and I don't know, and a bit of like extra elements that they've put here and there. But another thing that actually connects this one with the other Asian dolls that I have right here is like the painted details. So the screening is super cool and I love it, and so many people have said, okay, so it's so much better than Barbie because it's not pixelated. Well, you don't always get pixelation for Barbie. I mean, for Playline you do, but this one is a signature one, and I know you can't compare a signature with super budget, but Mattel can actually give us very, very high resolution faces when they want to do that. So that had to be said. But as you can see, there's a little bit of like exaggeration for like the lashes, especially the lower lashes, and that is something that I feel it's a bit more coming from the influence of these Asian ones, even though her face is very much Western. In a way, it doesn't have like the chubby sort of like face that is supposed to be like the fashion aesthetic, followed by, you know, girls in the Asian market. So it's giving me more of like a Poppy, Parker, or Barbie sort of like jawline. I mean, when it comes to the sculpt, and it's quite more realistic than the other ones, but the painted details really make me think of that, as well as, and I think that a lot of collectors are feeling a bit of nostalgia when we look at her, and that is also because vintage Barbie also came with graphic sort of like screenings that were less realistic and a little bit more like dreamy in a way, a little bit more like graphic design, as we can see on this Generation Girl that was like launched in 1998, I think. And yeah, I don't know, when it comes to how the lashes are painted, etc. Now, having said that, I think I could do without the lower lashes much better, and I think she would look so much more realistic. But I understand that this is probably a thing that it's quite unique from this line, and so I kind of like it too. Although again, if she wasn't having those lashes, she would probably look a little bit more realistic and even more fierce. And I really can't wait to see repaints of these coats, because I think that's going to feel amazing. Then anyway, the screening is perfect. I love the way her eyebrows have been painted with like the individual hairs that otherwise we rarely see, as you can see. So that is a plus. Then she has a bit of blush, minimal makeup, just like a very sheer eye color, I would say, that you cannot even appreciate it on camera, but it's there. And then we have this powdered glossy lips, which are everything, and I think is quite possibly one of the things that I love most from these DEFA LUCY dolls so far. I love especially the ones that come with this glossy sheer effect on the lips. And then okay, so when it comes to the hair, is cool. Again, it's not the best, but it's manageable and it's cool, and if you know how to handle hair, then you'll be fine. Then about the jewelry feels, I mean, I have mixed feelings here. I mean, they feel playful, although they also feel a bit bulky, and they feel as something as I could find from Barbie during the 90s, which is an era in which we were getting a lot of like bulky pieces for Playline Barbie, and still they feel very original. So probably something that accessories that will come with the Generation Girl line, which is like turn of the millennium. So that is why I'm getting like a lot of like different feelings here. So the earrings are a little bit bulky, but the design is very cute. So they have this, I don't know, artistic 80s design on a pale pink shade, and they're not supposed to be removable because of, I guess, choosing hazard and stuff, but as with any other Playland Barbie earrings, you can take them off using heat. And then for the necklace, I mean, when you take it off, I don't love it. I mean, how it sits on her, but I appreciate the creativity, and I appreciate that they've painted the sun or whatever it is here in the middle of the star in another color, and it isn't just a solid color. Although, for example, this one was coming with the Barbie Extra Fancy, and it was also painted. So yeah, I don't know, but it's cute. I mean, it's quite unique. Then this crop top kind of thing, I don't know if it's supposed to like resemble to have transparent or like sheer fabric that will feel see-through, or I mean, I don't know what is supposed to be happening here, but it's actually like a print of the planets, and then we have this crossed design, and then we also have like this painted color over the turtleneck one. And yeah, we're just like overwhelmed with so many details here, and different fabrics as well, which is cool. We have the mesh with the edge, and it's pleated, and then we have two little holes right there, and the mesh is actually going all the way through, and the way it's put together on the back is by Velcro. I don't love how it looks on the lower part, though. It feels like the Velcro, it's too chunky and it shows, and it doesn't look like great. Then we have these pants that a lot of people is like loving and they're cool because they're handled like this iridescent material that I've previously seen on #Lika. For sure, I think I have one of the skirts that is actually from the same fabric as this one, and then this is actually really nicely constructed. I would say this is not comparable with Fashionista, but more with like Barbie Extra level, but still like having printed details, which for Barbie would be very much criticized in my opinion, but as this is like a very much on trend and popular at the moment, probably we're not criticizing as much. But I have to say that again, the details feel flat, and these kind of details were carried on so much better in the past by Mattel for Barbie. Like for example, for the Generation Girl line, I mean, this is one of the best series that Barbie has created for sure when it comes to playline, and the attention to detail was superb. If a Barbie extra was coming with printed details, it would be criticized, if you know what I mean. Right, but it looks okay, and it has a very unique shape as well, like almost like 3/4. It doesn't go all the way down, and so we have the, you know, the ankle bit here that is different. It has an elastic with the 2 cords there for decoration, and then something that, okay, and I have to give major props to the company DEFA to produce, because I've tried to see if I could recognize pieces as clone pieces from other fashion dolls that I have as part of my collection, and I couldn't. I believe that everything is very much original. We also have a look at her body, but for example, these glasses, I don't think I've seen these exact glasses anywhere else, and I love that they're not just like a, you know, plain single color, but they also have like see-through lenses. What else? Yeah, okay, so we were right over here, and I thought, when I saw these sneakers, I thought, okay, this looks so much like the Barbie fashionista ones we're getting over and over, but in fact they aren't. I mean, they have a unique design, and they are different to the Mattel's ones. So these are a different sculpt, you know, a genuine sculpt from DEFA LUCY line. So that is all very, very cute. And now that we've seen, okay, so let's just, okay, she's higher up, that's why, and she's not coming with pointy feet. One thing I love about the Mimi's world body is that, I mean, it's very much thin around the waist, that resembles like a vintage Barbie, and definitely the hashtag Lika is also like very thin. I don't love the articulation of hashtag Lika, even though it has flexible arms. The rest is like very much hollow and into a single position, but I love all the details. Like they actually nail the hair so much, and the hairstyles, and the screen is always perfect as well, and then everything else is very much perfect most of the times. But yeah, I mean, I think that at a first glance, this would be all the things to consider. I love that this one has added the ankle articulation. I think that is something that I would have appreciated so much, and that they would probably add to this sculpt later on in the future, because it would help. The proportions are a little bit more similar to Barbie's when it comes to how the belly and the waist feel. And in terms of skin complexion, I would say she's quite fair, but not as fair as the South Korean fashion doll or the Japanese one right over here, that are a little bit more on the pale side. The standard for Barbie is it's a bit too tan, but this is kind of halfway in between Eastern and Western world in a way, and probably is closer to the Tori from Generation Girl that we have here. So she's pale, but with rose and yellow. I mean, I would say pink and yellow undertones all together. So it's going to be interesting if you were to transfer a body. I probably like the best one would be the Barbie looks with the kit mold, but not 100% sure. It could also work for a pale standard Barbie, I think, and in fact it could work really well for like as an exchange with the Mimi's world body, and same for Lika, because again I feel like I feel that their faces are actually paler than the bodies they're using, and that is just because they are like so focused on like showing very fair skin complexion. And so it's cool that she isn't as fair and that she feels a bit more like in between. So overall, I'm very happy, and I will be collecting more of these DEFA LUCY dolls, and you will see it as part of the channel very, very soon. But I just wanted to share these first impressions on my very first doll, and the different sort of like comparisons that we could find here. She has articulation on the shoulder, elbow, wrist. By the way, the hands are so much smaller than a standard Barbie hand. Definitely different to Lika's. A little bit closer to the ones that we can find on Mimi here, and different, but in a way they have like a similar, so it reminds me so much more of a Disney princess hand, but I also believe that this is like an original thing. To be honest, it reminds me of the new Disney princess hand mold, but it feels small and yeah, different. And then when it comes to the feet, I just want to see, okay, so the feet are also different to what we can find on a Disney princess. They're different to Mimi's, and they're definitely different to standard Barbie feet. This one comes with the toes and everything, even though it's like hard plastic. But yeah, everything feels quite genuine when it comes to. I don't think we can catalog this doll as a clone as such. I mean, it's a budget alternative that has been inspired by other lines for sure, but I don't think it's a copy of anything per se. So that is like very, very interesting, and very nice to check on the actual doll. So anyway, super happy. I will be taking pictures and everything, and I will keep sharing as much as I can. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you have and it's been helpful, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. For now, I hope you all stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.